Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. We just came out of the exam for Medical Intuitive. We overran a little, but it will all be fine. Oh, Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my father, my mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good, good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste. Okay, let's go one step at a time. Mitra saying, hi Sky, I would love to have an energy scan. I'm scared of my lungs. I can't stop smoking, although I have asthma. I'm thinking so much about offering theta healing as a professional or just continuing with art, poetry, and using theta healing only for friends and family. Thank you so much. So, Mitra, they are saying that you should, like, this is not an and, this is both. So just add theta healing as a service to your website or to your pages. You know, art and healing are so connected. In fact, the best healers that I know, me included, do both, right? And art has been a medium of healing since the dawn of time. Symbols and images have been used to heal other people. Lots of artists channel sacred geometric shapes and images into their artwork as well. But you can add theta healing onto your website or start a different business page if that feels right for you. But your art clients will normally very easily transition over onto healing. Most artists are very open. You know, they're more creative types are more open to that kind of spiritual healing. But I'm being shown, you know, it's time for you to start being valued for your gifts. It's time for you to come out of the spiritual closet, as it were. Skylar's putting on her blue light glasses before she messes with her circadian rhythm again. And it's like, this is important for your art as well. They're showing me that you have low self-worth. So and there's some real heartbreak hidden. It's like literally it's tucked under the bottom of your heart. And it's like the heartbreak is what's stopping you from valuing yourself. It's like this deep, it's almost like because you feel like you're not lovable, and because of the way that some lovers have treated you, you're like energetically, it's like the energy of stay away from me. But then obviously that pushes away the right kind of people, and it also blocks more abundance, because when you want to attract more clients, when you want to attract more followers, a stay away from me energy is not good. Okay. But yes, that's a yes from your angels. 100% offer that. Sachin is saying, hi, can I have a reading on my health? Yep, and I've got my cards back because I'm not at my mom's anymore. So let's see what they have to say. Okay, so the card that you got is your angels are asking you to be flexible and open to suggestions. And the images on this sort of childhood, so you see the baby, the toddler, the child at school, and the angel watching over all in the background, right? So this is about being open to keeping healing. It's almost like this energy of, but I've healed enough, I don't want to do any more, as a way of your ego convincing you to emotionally bypass the release. So most of the healings that you get, like instant healings or miracles, or when the shift happens, is when you let go of the energy, and emotions are energy in motion. There's a deep unconscious fear, because most people are terrified of feeling their feelings. I kid you not, that once you go into that feeling, you'll be stuck there forever. So like if you feel the sadness, then you'll be stuck in depression forever. If you feel the grief, then you'll be stuck in grief forever. If you feel the shame, then you'll be stuck in shame forever. When the reverse is true, right? When you don't feel it, you're stuck there forever. And that's why the unconscious mind is afraid of the feelings. Like, it's, oh, I've felt this for ages. I've been sad for months, years. I've been angry my whole life. And it's like, yes, because you've refused to feel it. You've refused to face it. You haven't learned what that emotion was there to teach you, right? Anger is there to teach you how to protect yourself, both from your trauma and from from other people outside you who are using you or harming you. And it's also there to teach you what your values are, what your standards are. Shame is there to teach you, that there are some lines around integrity that should not be crossed by you or anybody else, right? And the price of emotional abuse and physical abuse, and that it has a price, because a lot of people are totally oblivious to it. They're just like, oh, people are just like in victim consciousness. Like, there are real victims. When you do something bad, when you do something wrong, when you make a mistake, it's by the grace of God that it is corrected. But when you hurt other people, you really do hurt other people. This strange belief in our culture that everybody's responsible for their own feelings is a complete denial of interdependence. We are interdependent creatures. We literally have mirror neurons in our brain to mirror and have compassion and empathy for other people. So 100% you are responsible for your own feelings, but you can hurt somebody and their feelings too. And some people do it on purpose over a prolonged period of time. So this energy of taking accountability is super, super, super important, but really understanding that your physical health is a manifestation of your inner peace. So when you are giving away your peace to past trauma, to abusive relationships, then your body will protect you. It will set boundaries with illness or with disease because you can't say no. And what's interesting is that we tend to think that because when we're children and we get sick, our parents get very protective of us, we think adults will be the same. The shocking truth is that adults are normally treat sick people worse than they treat healthy people. Adults are normally angry at each other for getting sick, not caring towards each other when they get sick, which is quite an interesting development. I didn't really understand or know this to be true until I started teaching medical intuition. Okay, so we're just going to take a minute. We're going to call on Archangel Raphael, and we're going to ask for an instant healing on your health. And we're going to set emotional boundaries so that you stop letting people steal your peace, and so that you can grieve the false friends, so that you can grieve the false lovers. The angels and God are supposed to show you the people that are using you. They're just like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be your friend and say everything you want to hear just so I can keep using you, right? That's not good. You don't want those people near you. You're not missing them. You're not going through a lonely period. You are acknowledging the loneliness that you felt that drove you to allow those connections in the first place. And you are making space for the amazing people that are going to walk with you in the future. There you go. Whew. And yes, it's lonely at the top, guys, but it's lonely at the bottom too. Loneliness is an emotion that we sometimes experience throughout life. Okay, so sabotaging your success, it's like sabotaging your success so you never feel disappointment or anger or sadness. It's just a waste of your time. These are emotions. Everybody feels them sometimes. Okay. Aisha's saying, hi, Sky. Can I have an angel reading for clarity and knowing? After my healing session, I now feel ready to start earning, but I'm struggling with direction and knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know that you're a healer. You know. Don't tease. Okay, we, your angels, are helping you and guiding you with your situation. Oh, we ask you to be flexible. So there's still some level of childhood healing here. And remember who you are. So they're showing me like that you're thinking that whatever you choose now is like, like when you're a little kid and they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you go into panic and shock because you're like, I have to choose something, and then this choice I'll be bound to for the rest of my life. That is not true. Whatever you choose, like when I started in angel healing, and then I moved into theta, and I stayed there for years. And then I moved into hypnosis for a bit, and then I moved back into theta, and then I moved into what's it called, medical intuition. So you don't have to stay in one space. You will go where God guides you to go. You will do what God tells you to do. That is the purpose. That is the point. Okay. So let's just take a moment to release this belief that you only have one path and show you that God is giving you many gifts and placed many promises in your heart. Your job is to choose one to begin with. And they're really showing me you do very well as a healer, right? Very well as a theta healer as well. And they're showing me just go with go there because it's where we've got the biggest community right now. But there's definitely something coming up around Christianity and prayer groups as well. There's definitely something coming up around like physical healing, because you're like a Reiki healer too, I think. And there's definitely stuff coming up around giving card readings and channeling. So you could do all those as different sessions on your website if you wanted to. Okay, just have them listed, and that's called having a product suite. Okay, but don't overcomplicate it. You don't need help to make every decision. You just need to make a decision and then follow through with it. Okay, Tracy's saying, hi Sky, what message do the angels have for me? Thank you. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Prioritize. Archangel Metatron, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So one of the things that happens a lot to healers is because we have so many ideas, because God put so many promises within us, it can be, and because we're constantly channeling as well, it can be hard to stay focused on one dream or one launch and get it from beginning to end without getting distracted by something else. So we're back to this idea of don't let fear stop you from doing one thing really well, right? Do one thing really well from beginning to end and then add something else and then add something else. Okay. But there's an energy of commitment. There's an energy of accountability and focus and direction when you go, I am responsible for achieving this. I'm going to put all of my energy into achieving this. This is what I have to do to reach that goal, as opposed to saying that you don't know what you're doing or sabotaging yourself by choosing too many things at once. Okay. Don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. Don't go and look at the, a medical medium or Joe Dispenza or even Louise Hay and go, oh my God, this person has like 10, 30, 40 workshops, because they've been doing it their whole life. They started with one. Louise Hay started with one You Can Heal Your Life workshop, and then she scaled from there. Joe Dispenza started with one with his isochronic beats workshops and meditations, and then he scaled from there. You don't have to be all things to all people. Start with one thing, get it strong, and then start adding, right? It won't limit you. It will strengthen you. As my pastor would say, you're being pruned, right? Not punished. Sometimes God has to cut back a tree in order to allow it to bear more fruit. And it's exactly the same with human beings. Sometimes you have to cut back on where you're able to reach now in order to be able to strengthen and bear more fruit on the branches that you have, right? Otherwise, those branches get too heavy and the fruit aren't able to grow to the size that they're capable of growing at. Okay. Sarah saying, hi Sky, lately I've been more and more aware of the fear in my solar plexus and its connection with the heart. I feel the heat transmuting lots of energy. Can you scan them for guidance? Okay, let me have a look. So this is actually about people seeing your power. And there's energy coming up here around jealousy and around comparison. It's almost like it's almost like because of the emotional abuse endured, your window of tolerance has decreased. And because your window of tolerance has decreased, if anybody doesn't like you, if anybody says something not nice to you, you're just shutting down. You're just giving up on all of these really important things that you have to do. It's like the tiniest compliment or conflict can cause you to almost like dissociate for days. So it's called hypoarousal when it comes to trauma. Okay, so there we go. Just going to ask Archangel Raphael to open up your window of tolerance. We're going to do an instant healing on an identity collapse and show you how to keep your identity and your worth when someone challenges you, when someone confronts you, when someone emotionally abuses you, so that you're no longer trying to make sense of their behavior, trying to figure out why they're doing it. You're just standing in your power and you're telling them that you don't accept that kind of behavior. Okay. Judith is saying, hi, Sky, blessings to you. What wants to come through for me? Okay, I'm going to do one more. Then I'm going to set it up because I'm supposed to be recording these, and whoa, courage. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Brilliant idea. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea into fruition. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, that we've got this lion energy coming through in the back, and that's the symbol of Archangel Ariel, is this lion. It's also the symbol of the cherubim and the angel planes. And it's this energy of trusting that God's promises will be through you. You have a history with God. You have a history with your angels, and your angels are really guiding you to write it all down. So for example, if I look at my history with God, they told me I'd be infertile, and I have a son, a beautiful, healthy son. They told me I'd be ill for the rest of my life with Hashimoto's and a hypothyroid, and I have a perfectly healthy thyroid. My husband, when I met him, told me he was never going to get remarried, and we're married with our beautiful son. I thought I'd never make any money from my spiritual gifts and angel healing, and I make more money from that than I ever made from a full-time job. There are so many examples, from I thought I'd never heal my gut issues, and the gut issues are healed. I thought I'd never speak to my mother again because she stopped speaking to me for years after our wedding, along with my father, and then they reestablished contact 4 years afterwards. I thought that I'd never have my own modality, and then I launched Medical Intuitive and booked it out. I had these really nasty people trying to destroy my reputation and my credibility after the first launch, and I thought, I'm not going to make it. I'm never going to run a second round. And then the second round was booked out. Every single time that I have said, it doesn't look likely, but nevertheless, at God's word, I will do it anyway. God is telling me to do it anyway. So I will, at God's word, I will do it anyway. It works out. So that's what I'm getting told to speak to you about, is that you have a history with God. And it's important that you write down that history, all the different places where God has come through for you, all the different places where God has worked miracles for you. Every single time that God has protected your child, every single time that God has protected you or your business, every single time that something that should have hurt you did not manage to take you down. There's a saying in Arabic culture that when you like get a dent in your car, or when something in your door breaks or your office breaks, it's God turning the arrow so that it didn't hit you, it hit something else. Right? So it's signs that God will show out for you. It's signs that God is on 24 hours a day, protecting you, healing you, uplifting you. You have unconditional 24-hour a day, 365-day a year protection from God and from your higher power. So what your angels are saying is, please focus on what God has already done for you, to open the doors of receiving more of what God will do for you. And it will strengthen your faith, and it will get you to realize that what God has done for you already is nothing compared to what he's going to do for you in the future, that breakthroughs are coming, that opportunities are coming, that miracles are coming, and that it's your job to say thank you and to say, right, God, I get that it looks impossible. Nevertheless, you are the most powerful being in the universe, and I know you will show out for me. You always have before, right? Whereas when you get, your faith will make you whole. When you get to these places where it doesn't look likely that a blessing will come or a blessing will manifest, etc., you need to add the word nevertheless. It doesn't look like I'm going to pass this exam. Nevertheless, God has turned out for me a million times inside my life, and he will do it again. It looks like my heart will never heal after this toxic relationship. Nevertheless, right? God has raised people from the dead, and God has made blind man see, and God has made crippled people walk. So this is very much possible for me. It looks like this business is over. Nevertheless, right? God created every single grain of sand on the beach, and abundance is my birthright. So you need to get into that mindset of turning it around to make your blessings manifest faster, right? It was Joel Osteen that put that thought in my head a long time ago. I think it's his book, You Are Stronger Than You Think. And he goes very deep into it with Christianity, but it's such a powerful message, and it's the one the angels wanted to bring through for you right now. Okay. Here is saying, hi, Skylar, can you do a reading for my tube? I lost my baby in the womb last or any guidance for me? Oh, Hera, I'm so sorry. Let's start by sending you unconditional love. I'm just sending an instant healing. Now, there's a real strong guidance here from Archangel Gabriel, showing me that they're like the baby's safe, that they've got the baby, that they're going to take care of the baby for you until it's ready to reincarnate. And that might be through you, right? Because sometimes that's what happens. The baby tries a few times until it gets through. And they're also showing me that this is like, they're really showing me that it, obviously I'm not allowed to diagnose, but please go and get help from a proper miscarriage unit. And they're showing me progesterone. Like I can hear progesterone so loudly in my ear, right? So things like the seed cycling and making sure that for the next round that you might need to help with the progesterone, but making sure that you're getting help and not rejecting help from the medical establishment from the beginning. Because there's something here about you pushing doctors away, about you not telling them everything that you need. This energy of they're not going to help me anyway. So can we release that and change it to every hand that touches me as a healing hand? And it's safe for me to attract in the health practitioners that I need. Beata saying, I keep piling on the weight. Could you please tune in and see what's behind it? Thank you, Sky. Beata, when I'm tuning into you, it looks like high cortisol levels. So herbs like rhodelia, ashwagandha, and things like restorative yoga and Pilates and making sure you're getting out of the house for at least an hour a day. There's this energy of like constant stress. So we're just going to pull in Archangel Zadkiel, the Prince of Peace, right? To help you with this because your peace is being stolen. So much of our mismanifestations is because we are allowing our fear to steal our peace. And it's because our mind is unguarded, our heart is unguarded against fear and evil. And that's where we're going to ask the angels to come in and guard our hearts and guard our minds against evil. Okay, and we're just going to talk to your adrenal glands. So the amount of cortisol that you produce is directly proportional to the amount of danger that your adrenal glands and your body believe that you are in, right? And they're showing me that for you, this is about financial danger. So let's just release that. There we go. Okay, it's looking better. Okay. Tara saying, hi, ma'am. I'll be having surgery on Wednesday. Please ask the angels to protect and heal quickly. Thank you. Okay, we're going to send Archangel Raphael and his band of healing angels to protect you and to heal you. And so it is. I'm going to ask your angels to speak to the angels of your surgeons, of your nurses, so that the whole surgery flows in divine right order with ease and grace for everyone involved. Gabriella saying, Dear Sky, could you please help me with my sweaty palms all the time? What could be the cause? Thanks, Gabriella. Okay, let me have a look. So they're showing me this, like, they're showing me that almost like this heart palpitation, like really high levels of anxiety. And we're back to this energy of the nervous system being dysregulated, this constant state of fight, flight, freeze. And this being the way that you're getting rid of extra toxins. They're also showing me that this is actually your hands are like hot because of the amount of healing that's coming through them. So let's just start by activating your hand chakras and unblocking them. And then doing a healing on the anxiety. So all anxiety comes from a belief that you are not capable, right? So when you believe that you're not capable, you therefore do not trust yourself, and that makes you afraid of life. So let's release that fear of life and replace the belief I am capable no with I am capable yes. I am well able. I'm made in the image and likeness of God. Okay. Actually, thank you so much, Sky. So accurate. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to know and have it figured out. Okay. So Aisha, it's not what it looks like. Okay. What it looks like is you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to get this done perfectly. What it actually is a fear of not being able to financially provide for yourself from your divine life purpose. But it's important that you know that God promised to provide for you. That's one of the promises that He puts in the heart of all His children. So when you step out in faith, when you step out in connection to your creator, that is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. So don't worry about the promise being in there. That's one of the promises that God puts in the hearts of all his children. Right. But it's projected. It's projected on the perfect course. It's projected on the perfect healing. It's projected on the perfect reading because of childhood trauma. Right. But the reality is that God will provide for you as long as you show up and you take care of other people and you literally you need a place for the money to go, as in a bank account, a button. But God will show up as long as you show up. Preeti saying, hi, dear Sky. May I have a healing regarding pollen allergies and with issues as connected to? Thank you. Yeah, we can do a healing for allergies, just healing your gut, your liver, your sinuses. There's something here around siblings and bullying. So we're just going to ask the angels for an instant healing around that too. And also healing around pesticides in the pollen. Just showing your immune system the difference between pollen and poison, pollen and danger, pollen and irritation, pollen and bullying, pollen and PTSD. There we go. That's clearing up nicely. Bettina saying, hi, beautiful. A card or a message would be nice. Sounds like a plan. Okay, Bettina, your card is prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So in a business, right, when you are wondering what to prioritize, the answer is sales first. Okay. And the reason it's sales first is because sales is how you become more visible. So to make more sales, you have to help more people. The number of sales you make is directly proportional to the number of people you help or the number of people you serve. So when you are like thinking, what do I work on? It's like sales first, and then on the content, and then on the clients, because that's how it serves indirectly, right? The more content you create, the more it serves the client. The more you sell, the more it serves the client. And then because it's all dripping down and the client's getting all of it, they get the content, they get the connection, and then they get the mentorship or the meditations or whatever it is, the group that you're creating or feeding. But you always start with visibility and sales first, right? If in doubt, always go back to visibility or sales. And that's the bit where fear is going to try and knock you down, is going to try and hit you at the hardest. It's going to try and be like, I have to have all of my courses done. I have to have this done. I have to have seen this client. I don't have time. I don't have energy. It's too stressful. It's going to try and hit you there, because that is the bit that can give you the most leverage and the fastest growth, right? Not because it's not what you're supposed to be doing, not because you're too sensitive, but because that's what's going to stop you from helping the most people. And fear hits where it's going to have the greatest impact, right? It knows what to prioritize. So it's like, if I only get her to block her sales and her visibility, then I've damaged all the people she can help, and I've damaged her whole business and her self-esteem. So it goes for the place where it can have the highest impact. So notice where you feel the greatest fear, because that will often show you what would give you the greatest growth. And that's why Marissa Peer and other hypnotists say, do the things you don't want to do first. Right? Do sales, deal with money, because that's what will give you leverage in your business. Look at the things do. Switch, let turn the phone on. Things that are going to take on advice, things that Skylar does not want to do. Be more visible, right? So take my own advice. We're doing it. It's so funny, isn't it? Well, it's not funny. It's a reality that healing other people heals us too. Okay. Whoop. There we go. Right. But I'm really getting shown you don't need to do everything that you think you need to do. You just need to focus on your sales, okay? And the rest of it will sort itself out. Okay? Okay. Nope. Okay. So Christina's saying, hi, Sky. Regarding my business, I love guidance from the angels. I feel I'm either right now for women to guide them in a 3-month mentoring, or to radiate confidence for the single woman who wants a healthy relationship, true soulmate, and address women in that way. Therefore, do I go for confidence or relationship? Relationship triggers me, but also ignites me. So they're showing me two separate things. So they're showing me confidence as like a self-study, as like a way for women to come into your program, kind of like higher down the value ladder, and then your romance and relationship as like a mastermind or as a program where you guide them through that over 3 to 6 months, right? And have that kind of be evergreen, so people can join all the way through and get the benefit of all the lives, all the master classes, all the readings, all the healings. And that's going to help you heal as well. So for you, it's not and, it's both. Make the confidence thing something around like 6 modules on healing your confidence, and then like a mini course, and then on that mini course you want to offer them your soulmate course or your soulmate mastermind. Okay, Norhan is saying, hi, Sky. I'm looking to be promoted at the company I'm in. I'm really scared of not getting it. What is the guidance that I should be aware of? Okay, so I'm just going to do an energetic vacuum, because you've got, like, there's a lot of anxiety and fear around you in this promotion. And I think there might be some like psychic attack with other people that are competing for you. So we're going to get Archangel Michael to just come in and just pull that off you. Okay. And the card that you got is I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationships. Archangel Chamuel also helps with abundance in careers as well as soulmates, just so you know. And chakra clearing, which explains why we just did the Hoover. Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So now is really the time to like a deep chakra clearing. I really recommend the Doreen Virtue one, to, kind of gut all the blocks that you have, to receiving God's love and to receiving good inside your life. Sometimes, especially the base track around financial safety and security and around recognition, what happens is we replace God with career, right? Your career is not the source of your abundance. God is. God brought you the career. So whenever you start focusing on your career as a source of your happiness, refocus, reframe, bring it back to God, and then everything will click. Right? God is in control, this or something better. That's what you want to say to yourself. God is in control, this or something better. Okay. Okay. Gonna scroll down. Okay, so Bruna's saying, I'd like to see if my soulmate or partner for this life is near, and what should I do to help us meet? Gosh, Bruna. So what they're showing me is this is actually about you judging your own standards. I don't know who's told you that your standards are too high, but it's acting like a wall. It's making you feel ashamed about what you really want. It's making you go for people that you don't really respect. Oh, sensitivity. So be really careful who you hang around. I'm not sure if this is your girlfriends or this is a family member, but there's an energy of you absorbing other people's energies around this soulmate and bringing in men that just aren't for your highest and best good. One of the best tests for your soulmate is if this person had to parent my children, right? If I died and somebody else had to raise my children, would I feel safe? Would I feel good? Would I know that they were taken care of? And you'll start to understand your standards very clearly, and you'll start to also be ruthless when it comes to cutting off men that are wasting your time or just have abuse. Or time wasting energy. The next card I got for you is clairvoyance. I'm helping your spiritual sight to fully awaken so that you can feel heavenly love. So this shows me that your heart is blocked, right? So let's just ask Archangel Chamuel to come in and do a deep healing on your heart center and help you take your lovability wound seriously, because you are lovable. And it's really important that you do the work so that you stop lowering your standards and instead you get comfortable with rejecting people that don't meet those standards. There we go. That's looking a lot better. Your standards are not too high. Their standards is too low. Do not take advice from anybody unless you want the life they have. Okay? Do not take advice from all your single friends, or do not take advice from people who have the life that you want to have. If you take someone's advice and expect to create their life, be very, very careful. Okay. 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 Ivana's saying, what message do my angels have for me? Thank you. Let's have a look. Okay, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So we've had peace come up as a theme, particularly emotional peace, a few times today. And I think a few of you are asking for neuroregulation, or for your nervous system to be regulated and calm. Now, I need you to understand that a regulated nervous system is not the same thing as a repressed nervous system. And a lot of you are confusing the two. A regulated nervous system still has negative feelings, right? A negative feeling is not a dysregulated nervous system. A negative feeling is a releasing nervous system. The two are very different things. Okay, so it's very important that you recognize that, because you being able to release negative feelings is how you process stress without becoming sick, without having mental illness. It's very important to be able to release negative emotions, just like it's important to be able to go to the bathroom and do a PP, right? It's important to be able to release the toxins from your blood, and it's important to be able to release the emotional toxins from your psyche. So the card that came through for you is that you are safe, right? You are safe. Take your power back. Stop letting fear steal your peace. Some of you are letting like the thief come in. Fear is a thief. It will steal your peace. So let's just ask God to remove the thief. Your peace is your most precious thing, more precious than time, more precious than money, more precious than everything. Okay, you can rebuild anything from a place of peace and from a better energy. But if you let fear take your peace, there we go. Okay. It's looking a lot better. Thank you, Sky. You're welcome, Christina. Norhan saying thank you. You're welcome too. Bruno saying thank you, Sky. You could call it skipping. It is intended. It's because the angels show me where to go. And sometimes it's because somebody above you needs the same message as you, or the other way around. So they just kind of pull my eyes in different directions, Bruno. Don't worry. 9 times out of 10, I make it to everybody unless we're short on time. Okay, Christina's saying, this is going to be good. I'm going to turn on the recorder. See, this is going to be a good one. You're going to help a lot of people with this one. Okay, so Christina's saying, if I'm not in a relationship, can I help women on the relationship topic? 100%. As long as you're honest about not being in a relationship, right? What's out of integrity is if you lie about where you are in life. That is a problem. If you tell the truth, it's completely in integrity. Now, here is the deal, right? You are not healing these women. God is healing these women. What you are offering is to hold a space, a container where they are reconnected with the truth that God created them lovable and whole, and He will restore them to that place, right? And you have healed enough of your fear of being alone with God to be more than capable of holding that container for women. It's the same reason why I was able to heal people who was sick for years. You are not the healer in that container. God is. You are the person that is, as of their own free will, giving God a space to come and breathe and move through the people that have decided to work with you. Right? That's why perfection is not required. No one is asking us to be God. God is asking us to hold a space for Him to move. God is asking us for hold a space for Him to work. God is asking us to hold a space for Him to breathe into His people or His population. But you're not being asked to have everything figured out, right? Just don't lie about being in a relationship when you're not, and share with them your journey authentically as you're moving into that space. Explain to them exactly that because you faced challenges with your self-worth and choosing the right partner, because you're on this manifestation journey and you're having this deep dive, right? You felt called to take you on that journey with them. And you will attract people who are at the right stage in the journey, who you can help, who are a perfect fit for you, right? You won't attract people who are further down the path, because that's not how God works. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, Sarah Phil saying, hi Sky, I need some help with finding a house for a volatile father who moved in with me, who I don't want in my home anymore. Okay, we're going to call on Archangel Raphael. We're going to call on the fairies, because the fairies are amazing at manifesting houses. And we're going to call on Archangel Michael to just cut cords with your father and with you. Oof. Okay, that's looking a lot better. Okay, Christina's saying amazing. Thank you for that perspective. And the nervous system hits the spot for me today. Just had a panic attack in my body right before teaching tomorrow. Okay, so let's who give me an emoji if you've heard about the window of tolerance when it comes to trauma. Give me an emoji if you've heard about the window of tolerance when it comes to trauma. I think most of you haven't. Yep, I think most of you haven't. So let's talk about it for a minute, okay? It's really important. If you haven't heard about it, this is an important thing for you to hear about. Oh, okay, so window of tolerance. When it comes to trauma, what happens is, and it's physiological as well as emotional and spiritual, right? That when you go through a traumatic event or experience, whether that is a breakup, whether that is a war, whether that is domestic violence, whether that is emotional abuse, what happens is for your survival, your brain hones into the person that's giving you a problem or it's giving you difficulty. The same way that if you were in a forest and a tiger jumped out at you, your brain would only be focused on, hyper focused on finding more tigers or preventing more tigers from hurting you. Right? So what happens is that your capacity to maintain this constant awareness of danger, right, and protect yourself against danger takes up most of the energy of your brain and your nervous system and your digestive system, which is why so many people stop eating, why they what's the word, can't sleep, why they what's the word, feel exhausted but they can't switch off, why they are tired of thinking about it but they can't stop thinking about it, because their brain has gone into this smaller window of tolerance. Now we all have a window of tolerance, and that's what allows us to deal with a difficult employee or deal with a difficult conversation with our partner. But when we've been through a trauma, whether that's a car accident or whatever we just discussed, that window of tolerance shrinks. And that's when we snap at our partner, snap at our children, don't take the risks we need to take in our business, don't show up and with our visibility and do our sales. We're like, it's just too much. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. That phrase is what really pulls you into the energy of that somebody is in their window of tolerance or has exceeded their window of tolerance. So in EMDR, one of the first things that they do is they get you to just put your hands together, almost like in prayer mode, and then you want to take your eye and follow that hand. Because what you're doing is literally stopping yourself from focusing in and opening up the window of focus physiologically or biologically. Energetically, you want to expand your auric field out and you want to open your chakras. And the affirmation you want to do is, I am safe and it's my birthright to take up space. Right? I'm safe, I am important, I matter. And that starts to open up your window of tolerance as well. And then one of my favorites that opens up my window of tolerance every time it shuts down comes from Joel Osteen, where he talks about there's no great testimonies without great tests. So whenever we find ourselves and tested in life, look at that history that we have with God, because it means that God has a great testimony for us of what he can do when he's working through our life. Okay. But that window of tolerance is super important to open up, so that you are available for the blessings, so that you don't so that your life and your energy doesn't become smaller and smaller and smaller, and so that you can understand why you are overwhelmed sometimes by the smallest of things that don't make any sense. It's like, well, I shouldn't be upset because there's, a cup on the kitchen table or the dishes haven't been done or whatever. But the more um stressed or traumatized you are, the smaller your window of tolerance becomes. And that's where it gets to a point sometimes where you get home from work or you just see the dishes in the sink and you start crying. And it's like, it was never about the dishes. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's the place that went beyond your window of tolerance, right? So it's important to open that up and expand that up, so that you do not play it small. Right? So one of the best things, this is why future pacing from NLP is so powerful, is to step in, or quantum jumping. You want to step into that future self and see what they see, hear what they hear, think what they think, make the decisions that they would make, instead of being in the energy of your own window of, or your comfort zone, or your own window of tolerance, particularly if you find yourself wanting to change plans or do less, especially after a breakup or after a difficult conversation with your mom or dad. You want to be like, no, this is my window of tolerance shrinking down. This is not a reflection of what the universe has available for me, or of what's actually available for me. Okay, let's do our closing prayer. O great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives, and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted, to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste.